Hey everyone, Tactics here with another quick guide, this time to the Halls of Atonement dungeon on Mythic difficulty. As always, I'll go over the dungeon specific covenant bonus, the various boss mechanics, and of course any important trash abilities you should be on the lookout for. If you found this video helpful, please make sure you like and subscribe for more content like it, and let's begin with the bonus available to members of the Venthyr Covenant. Spread throughout the dungeon are loyal Stoneborns who appear hostile at first, but if approached by a member of the Venthyr Covenant, they will gain an extra action button which causes it to turn friendly and fight for you. This will last for 30 seconds before flying off, and it'll also grant your party a 10% damage taken reduction for the entire duration, which is a nice little added bonus to the damage it provides. Moving on, let's talk bosses, starting with Halkias, the Sin-Stained Goliath. In order to summon the boss, you'll need to kill 3 shards of Halkias, which are spread throughout the beginning of the dungeon, and will deal a large amount of party damage thanks to their thrash ability, so be prepared. Once Halkias himself is engaged, there is a red circle around him that you'll want to stay inside of, otherwise you'll be chain feared by Sinlight visions. The tank attack is Crumbling Slam, which will hit all enemies within 6 yards of the tank and leave a puddle, so make sure they have space. Heave Debris will throw rocks at random players that you should dodge, and also leave puddles where they land. Finally, he will occasionally cast Refracted Sunlight, which causes 4 beams to rotate around the boss dealing damage, so move with them. Note that these can switch directions, so be careful. From there we move on to Echelon, who creates his own puddles via Blood Torrent, so avoid those. He will also cast Stone Call to summon imps that you'll want to focus down. At low health, these imps turn to stone and deal party damage, and they'll slowly begin to regenerate. When Echelon gets to 100 energy, he will cast Curse of Stone, which causes all players to be cursed, slowing them for 5 seconds, and if not dispelled, stunning them as well. Right after this, he will begin casting Stone Shattering Leap at a player, which will deal a chunk of damage and destroy all stone imps in the area, so try and move to their bodies to get rid of them. From there, the fight just repeats until he's defeated. Next up, we have High Adjudicator Aleez, who will spam cast Bolt of Power at your tank, so try and interrupt as much as possible. He also casts Volley of Power, which deals less damage but to 3 people, so again, try and kick this as often as you can. He will occasionally summon a Ghastly Parishioner, which will fixate a random player. To get rid of it, lead it to one of the vessels on the platform, and both will disappear. Aside from that, the only thing Aleez does is channel Anima Fountain, which just puts swirlies on the ground that you need to dodge. That brings us to the final boss, Lord Chamberlain, who will put a long bleed on the tank which ramps up in damage over time, so be prepared. The majority of his abilities involve these statues on the platform. First, he'll start with using Telekinetic Onslaught, which will pull the statues to him, then he'll use Telekinetic Repulsion to shoot them out, so make sure you're dodging the flying statues. After repelling them out, he will channel Ritual of Woe, shooting red beams to all the statues that deals party damage if they connect, so you'll want to soak these. He will occasionally cast Unleash Suffering at a random player, which is just a friendly cone that you'll want to avoid. With the bosses covered, let's move on to the trash. Depraved Houndmasters and their vicious Gargants are present early on, which you'll want to watch out for. The Gargants put a stacking bleed on the tank, which really hurts, and the Houndmasters will cast Loyal Beast to buff them even more, which you'll want to stop via stun so your tank doesn't melt. There's also Depraved Collectors and Obliterators around the beginning area, both of which you'll want to kick. Collectors have Collect Sins, which is a channel that summons adds every second, and Siphon Life, which will heal them. Obliterators will put Curse of Obliteration on a player, which will deal big damage after a few seconds to anyone near them, which is definitely the highest kick priority. Stoneborn Slashers and Reavers are found after the first boss, where Slashers just have a frontal cleave attack and powerful swipe, and Reavers have Turn to Stone, which will do just that to nearby allies, so make sure you kick this. After that, the only other mob to worry about is the mini-boss Inquisitor Seagar, who is just before Lord Chamberlain's balcony. You'll want to try and AoE down all of the smaller adds in this room first, as if they're alive when engaging him, he'll channel Dark Communion to steal their health, which can really drag out this fight. But that is it for my quick guide to Halls of Atonement on Mythic difficulty. If you found this useful, please make sure you like and subscribe for more Warcraft content. If you're interested in more guides, I'll be putting out similar quick guides to all the bosses in Castle Nathria shortly after the raid opens. I'll also be making more in-depth Keystone Master guides for all the new Shadowlands dungeons once Season 1 starts. If you want to keep up to date with me, you can follow me on Twitter or check me out on Twitch, both at Tactics. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.